lonely, you shall be lonely. Now here it is right here. If you're confessing that you're lonely, you're making God out to be a lie. Uh-oh. How, Pastor? Well, because he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So when you say, I am lonely, what are you saying about God? That you saying he ain't there. So now. See, y'all know how I am when it comes to playing, when it comes to words. Because words are seeds. What we say, actually what we put in the atmosphere, dictates how things are going to go. Those words are very, very powerful, especially words that you say about yourself. And I don't care what it looked like. See, here's the thing. When you only look consistently through physical eyes, it is what you see. Does that make sense? It is what you see, but when your eyes start being developed spiritually, you see what it really is. And you worship God based off of what it really is, not what you believe it is. Does that make sense? Yes? Oh, see? What's some other? We? All that good stuff. See, when you're spiritual, your spirit kicks in first. And that's a transition. You got to understand that every spirit that you deal with, it don't start off big. It starts off small. And it gets stronger the more you exercise it. That's right. It gets stronger the more you exercise it. So what does that tell you? That spirit has a body and it has a resistance to it. Certain things that it resists makes it stronger. Am I making sense?
Amen.
So whatever spirit is really, really, really powerful in your life, you've exercised that spirit so much to where it now has some sort of authority. And when you can't control, it's kind of like a parent that has lost control of their house and the kids running the house. Somewhere you kind of let go and not corrected things when things should have been corrected. Am I making sense? Am I talking too deep for you? No? Okay. All right. Now, weapons of mass destruction. What did we talk about Sunday? Okay. Oh, Lord, that's not good. That's sad if y'all don't remember what we talked about Sunday. What was the weapon of mass destruction from Sunday? So now, what does that tell you? You're just paying attention, but you're not going home reading, and you're not taking notes at church. That's all that means. That's all it means. Compromise. The word is compromise. The word of mass destruction was compromise. Give me some more. Now that I got you started, what else would?
Because you referenced Daniel 3 7 about the three boys. As far as the fire and how the king noticed the fourth in there with them. So he knew he set three in the fire, but he noticed the fourth and he was saved by what he saw.
And how did they end up in the fire? Because they did what?
Compromise.
They didn't compromise who they were. In spite of what their position was in the kingdom. Now imagine how many times a week do we compromise our Christianity based off of where we are. And at one time that we should not be compromised, it could be the time to save somebody's life. Okay. Now, tonight, y'all gonna remember tonight because, you're gonna remember tonight because the second weapon of mass destruction is probably bigger than compromise, and that one is fear. Fear. What is fear? Yeah. Go. If you got a dictionary on your phone, go and look up what fear is. Fear. And I don't want to hear the little acronyms. Fake evidence appearing real. I ain't trying to hear that.
An unpleasant emotion.
A what?
An unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat.
Mm-hmm. It's a different definitions of that. See, the world tells us that fear is an emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. 2 Timothy 1:7. Somebody find it. 2 Timothy 1:7. Mm-hmm.
For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control.
Mm-hmm. What version is that? NIV?
The ESV.
Okay, so English Standard Version. Give me the King James Version, somebody.
For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but
Stop right there. For God did not give us the what?
spirit.
Uh-oh. God did not give us the what?
Spirit of fear.
The spirit of fear. He didn't say he didn't give us the emotion of fear. He did not give us the spirit of fear. Okay? This is what I talk about all the time when we are fearful of some things. You got to understand that it doesn't matter how the spirit enters as long as he's there. And the more you exercise the spirit of fear, the stronger it gets. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, the spirit, God did not give us the spirit of fear, but what spirit did he give us?
But of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Mm-hmm. Power of love and a sound mind. The opposite of fear is faith. Mm-hmm. The opposite of fear is faith. What are you afraid of? What's the biggest thing a lot of people are afraid of?
Failure.
What'd you say?
Failure.
Fear of failure. So what do? We just stay what? Comfortable. And as long as we're comfortable, we are compromising. That's kind of tough, ain't it? Long as we're comfortable, we're compromising. Now, check this out. If you look in matter of fact, let me go and find it. I'm going to help you. And it's in there 1,000 and so many times. Somebody find Genesis 15:1. Somebody find Genesis 21:17. Somebody find Genesis 26:24. Find Genesis 43:23. And find Genesis 46:3. When you find the first one, start reading. 15:1. Somebody.
After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abraham, I am thy shield.
Stop. He said, fear not. Then he said, I am thy shield. Fear not. Then he made a confession. This is who I am. He drove the spirit of fear away. Then he said, I am your shield. What is a shield? Don't be scared. I'm your protection. In order to get to you, they got to go through me.
Amen.
So what are you afraid of when you have protection? Next one.
What was the next one?
Oh,
21:17.
I need to invest in some pencils and some pens. What was it?
And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of lad where he is.
Mm-hmm. He told her to fear not for what?
God heard the voice.
He drove fear away again. Notice every time God is making some sort of move, what is the first thing he's telling us to do? Don't be afraid. So in other words, if God is telling us don't be afraid, then obviously he knows the enemy is going to operate off our fears.
Exactly.
And so if we are afraid, then we are not exercising faith. So if you're not exercising faith, the word simply says, without faith, it is impossible to please God.
That's right.
You understand? So if it's impossible to please God without faith, it's very, very, you cannot please him being scared.
Amen.
There's a difference being fearful and being cautious.
Amen.
Cautious just means, okay, I've been here before, I'm going to walk lightly because I'm expecting a certain thing. But fearful is just like, I'm comfortable right here. This is just where I'm going to stay. Okay, what was the next one?
26 and 24.
Read it.
And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed, and for my servant Abraham's sake.
Mm-hmm. There he is again. What is he saying again? Don't be afraid. Because I'm with you. Do not be afraid. If everything that God was telling us to do was easy, he wouldn't have to say fear not. You don't need God if you can do it by yourself.
That's right.
If it's simple, you don't need the fear because you're not afraid. Am I right or wrong?
Amen.
All right. And my man said earlier that most of the time we're fearful is because we fear failure. We fear falling. We fear falling. Notice every time he says fear not, something miraculous happens. Something life-changing happens once fear is driven out of the picture. Something life-changing happens once fear is driven out of the picture. Whatever you've been wanting to decide to do, but fear has kept you from doing it. Fear keeps you from having a life-changing experience. Fear of falling. So if I'm fearing of falling, then I don't believe that he's my shield. The words sound good, but what do the actions say? The actions say, I don't believe what you're saying, God. So I'm just going to stay right here. You said you'll never leave me nor forsake me, and I know you're calling me out to do this, but I can't see it, so I don't believe it. I believe it, but no. Your actions tell what you believe, not your words. Okay, here's an analogy. I told you it's going to be just a little deep for you. Now, when it came to my kids, and probably to all y'all kids, to everybody's child in here, they had to learn how to walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? No, they had to learn how to walk. And what happened most of the time when they first started walking?
Fall.
They fall. And when they fail, there's their word. It's different way of using it, but it's pretty much the same thing. When they fail, as the parent, what did you do? And when they try, you ever had your child when you knew that they could walk, how they would stand up, and then all of a sudden you would see them getting ready to go back down on their knees, and what you say, you know how to walk. And there they go right back to where it's going. Now, if your kids were like mine, my children, watch this, learn how to climb upstairs before they learned how to walk. They knew how to crawl